All right, here we go. Hello, everybody. Let me get my headset so I get some better audio quality here. And check out my new toy. It is the Apple Watch, and I'm not sure if I love it yet, but I'm happy to be playing with it. I'll leave it at that. Can you guys hear me okay? Do I need this thing or not? It'll take me 20 minutes to unravel it. I don't know what kind of magic happens inside the pockets of these pants, but somehow every single time I put my headset in there, it comes out completely tangled. There we go. That wasn't too bad. Let's get back in on this. Bang. Okay, might be a little better. So I'm in the clinic today, and I'm happy to be back in the clinic. I had been off for about a month. Thank you, Mary. Thank you, Ela. Yeah, I've been gone for a couple months. I hadn't really seen patients, and so it's nice to be back doing that thing, which I'd taken so many years of my life to learn how to do, and just helping people one at a time. So it's fun. It's fun. It's good to be back here. It's nice to see some of my old patients, some new patients, just helping people. You know, that's what we got into this for. So my last patient was like a top 5 pro surfer who just turned his ankle, and you know, you do that easily. Yep, I spaghettify. So just a quick check-in with you guys. Has anyone here been on the Rise and Shine calls? How did we do last week? I know I'm going to have a URL for that I'll post as a Google Hangout kind of later in this. I want to make sure. There's a couple people that were like, I'm confused about what that is. It's just kind of a separate optional time that we're spending going over the Rise and Shine, which is my first book. It was kind of user-driven request from some of our students who volunteered to kind of help coordinate that. So that's pretty cool. And you know, we're still fussing around with the technology, but I think we're getting closer to having that be an easier reality to work with. Let me see today. Yeah, and let me get the URL for you here. Where is it? There you go. Well.org/Rise and Shine discussion. That's interesting. Okay, cool. And so you could go there at 5:30 Pacific. And I'll display it as the sticky text. Bam. Okay. Great. Worked fine. Yes, it's cool. You like the format we used last week, Lainey. Excellent. Charlene says it was great too. Okay, perfect. Yeah, you know, yeah, it just keep refreshing if you're having trouble. I'm not sure how else to say. I appreciate it. Yeah, cheers. Thank you, PJ. So yeah, that's been really fun. And you know, now that the book is on its way to being done, I'm getting some more time in and doing all kinds of fun projects again. I'm just still waiting for the dust to settle a little bit. It's been pretty busy, and so what we've learned about pretty busy is that pretty busy needs to be tempered with R&R, right? And so we're going to be able to, you know, kind of balance that out pretty well in our in my summer. And you know, if you guys are feeling like you're overwhelmed in something, then it's time to underwhelm in other things so that you don't go crazy. Gina, yes, they're great calls. Really enjoying going into depth in the book. Thank you so much. You're very welcome. I'm honored and happy to share that. Jenny, incorporating understanding vertical versus horizontal source of inspiration and wisdom. Thank you. Yes, and that's a big one. Inspiration is really what I wanted to talk about today because we all need it in what we do. And when we have inspiration, things work so much better. And so, you know, how do we find that inspiration? How do we gather ourselves to have that? The chi building the shen, and as the shen gets built, then the shen is the spirit, which then drives us into kind of better behavior, more clarity, more drive, just more juice behind everything that we're doing. And so that's really a big piece of it for me. That's also driven by my personal practice, which has been something that I've been working on my entire adult life and even before then. And then it's also been a kind of a major part of how I want to teach you how to tap into that without going off into the woods all the time, because who's got time for that? I'm having a little trouble with people in the chat room. So let me see. Log out and close window and then come back in. Let me just help a couple people here. Hate to lose our friends. Okay, love technical difficulties. Okay. Bam. And where are you guys? There. Okay, we're back. Oh, I know Denise Newmark Raymer. Tell her I say hello. Yeah, small world. It's been very fun being in multiple worlds. So I know a number of filmmakers, I know a number of authors, I know a number of doctors and acupuncturists and all of it. So I'm kind of like a group slut, I'm just all over the place, and I know people in all these different areas. It's been really fun. And are we supposed to be in the book discussion group now? No, sorry. So just to be clear, book discussion group starts in 22 minutes, and we'll go over there at that time. And it's a separate deal, a separate technology. I think it's working a little better, excuse me, in terms of chat threads and all the things that we're going to be looking into doing. And so, yeah, I'm sorry a few of you guys are having trouble getting in, but we'll record this in the archives. So I'm going to stay on inspiration for a minute. I picked this up to drink it and I forgot to. The nature of qi and shen and our ability to drive further inspiration in our lives is not just a product of waiting for lightning to strike. It is very much a product of us engaging in practices that help connect us with the source of inspiration, that help connect us with the source of consciousness and presence, that help us align with this river, this raging river of inspiration that actually comes when we're vertically aligned, as we had mentioned in a previous piece here in the chat. And so the vertical alignment of the urban monk is in having rituals that help us gather qi and help us understand who we are better on a day-to-day basis. And in doing so, remembering what's important, remembering where we come from, remembering how our personal connection with the source of all is the fundamental basis of our existence, and then all these minutia, all stuff that's happening all around us is circumstantial for the most part. It was interesting. We did a shoot. Today's Wednesday, so yeah, we did a shoot yesterday for the Urban Monk TV show. It was a pickup for the functional fitness. It was the final pickup for the functional fitness episode. And it was with, so Dr. Tim Brown, who's a good friend of mine, who was one of the star of the show. But then we went out with a very high level U.S. Olympic volleyball player on the first bit. On the second bit, we went out with a gentleman by the name of Taylor Knox, who is, like a 20-year veteran of the surf tour. And it's just, in his early teens, had a lumbar surgery, multi-level lumbar surgery, and was, basically written off and said, dude, you're not surfing anymore. And, this career is over. And he just wasn't going to accept that as a solution for himself. And so he did yoga before it was cool. He was eating good stuff and being gluten-free before anyone else was. He was just taking care of himself in ways that were, really avant-garde, if you will. And he was a championship level surfer for 20 years. Him and Kelly Slater are the only guys that have really been out doing this for as long, and he was a badass. And one of the things we started talking about was how, I saw all these guys pulling up on the lot, nice cars, not nice cars, everything in between. And there was some interesting dialogue because those guys they had real jobs. And so they'd pull up and get an hour of surfing in the morning before going into the boardroom. And that was enough for them to like have everything else that happens that day just be circumstantial. Right. It's like, man, I already got in my surfing. I feel good. Everything else just rolls off my shoulders today. And that's kind of like the credo of the surfer. And it was interesting because as we got into this conversation, like, why haven't you ever tried surfing? I said, because I was a bit further inland when I was of that age, and I didn't want to drive an hour and a half to get to, a beach every morning. And really, when push came to shove, it was either be a great martial artist or a great surfer or a great something, but it's hard to be great at multiple things simultaneously. And so I committed myself to Kung Fu. And so, I'm not a good surfer, but I could kick ass. And that was part of my triaging, right, of what you have time to do. And so whether it's surfing, whether it's Kung Fu, whether it's yoga, whether it's piano, what is your island? Where is your stability? Where is your personal practice? Where are the things in your life that drive you to be better and drive you to enhance the person that you are? What makes Eric the better Eric? What makes Anne the better Anne, and Susan and, Rick and everyone who's on this call? How do we step into our power and really activate ourselves in a way where then going to the office and, the little arrows and bullets that are flying at us at all given times, when are we going to be able to sidestep those and just not let them bother us, right? And that's when we have our urban monk wisdom. That's when we have the solid basis of something that drives us beyond the circumstantial, definitions that are very narrow in our lives. And so we can be much greater than the things that come at us. And then look, some days are heroic days. Some days there's big earthquakes. Some days we get in car accidents. Some days we're, at the event of our lifetimes, and, that's great. And those are memorable. But, any given Tuesday could either be something that elevates your cortisol or something that is part of the fabric of your personal growth and helps you understand yourself better. Eric's a big fan of Kelly Slater for good reason. Aaron's learning to surf in July. What's funny, Aaron, is I actually made a deal with Tim Brown that because I'm going to be around this summer, he's going to teach me how to surf and take me out to some of his breaks. And just he's like, dude, you need to get in the water with me. And I said, fine, okay. I've done the Kung Fu thing. I'm solid there. Let's surf. So this summer I'm going to be surfing a lot. So yeah, we'll compare notes, Aaron. Marissa doesn't have a Facebook account and choosing not to have one. Is there another way to keep up to date on the happenings? Yeah, I mean, Wendy sends out reminders for these calls all the time, and then she also gives the chat thread for the book deal that we're the book club that we're doing. What happened to that page? Raise your hand if you get too many windows open all the time. Let's see. Bam, bam. Because there's a chat thread functionality on the software that we're using, on the landing page that we're using, that I put in there, that you don't have to be logged into Facebook to use. And so we did that. That's why we chose that one. So that's a way to do it. You could be part of the stuff without having to do, the Facebook thing. I know some people don't like that, and that's fine. For me, I think it's, I don't really socially Facebook, actually. I'm a fair weather Facebooker. I look, I I hear that I hear that, there's a cute picture of my kid up, and that's when I go. But yeah, I believe, that there's a lot of really good reasons to not Facebook, Marissa. So just look for your emails, and you can do those things without Facebook. Pamela, I go to the ocean every Wednesday in the morning, surf or swim. It's a commitment I made to myself. Fantastic. Yeah, it's fantastic stuff. I love it. I think that, rituals of that nature are important to build in, and it looks like you're doing it. Didn't get an email, read the book group though. Okay, I will, and Roseanne's there too. There should be an email about the book group. I don't know if you didn't get it. I'm not sure why, so I'll just check with Wendy and Ela. If you don't mind, just email Wendy at well.org and find out why, because you should be on that list to be getting it. And go from there. Yeah, but Facebook isn't noisy. We all know that. And Facebook is about memes and stuff like that. But it is. The link is on the admin notice, guys. So well.org/rise and shine discussion. That's where we go at 5:30. And so I'll figure out why you're not getting the emails. So that's a big piece of it. There's also another piece of it, which is evening rituals, which I want to make sure our Urban Monk students have. And I don't care what it is. It doesn't have to be something super elaborate and crazy and, 3 hours on your meditation cushion or whatever. One of my favorite evening rituals, and now the kid's old enough to do it, is, I just go out in the yard for a few minutes and look at the stars and just hang out and breathe. And I'll do my qigong, and he'll kind of cruise around and look at stuff or cause some trouble, or wait till he goes to bed, or my wife will fall on a sword and take him to bed so I can do my thing, and we take turns with that. But just go spend about 15 quiet minutes in the yard, staring at the moon and the stars and breathing and enjoying the sounds of the night. And I can't tell you how therapeutic that is. If I got more time, I'll take it, spend an hour out there. But let's face it, I just wrote 85,000 words for a book I submitted. There's not that much free time when you're on deadline city. So those 15 minutes make a really, really big difference in your life, right? And it's a really, really important thing to do on your personal time, because here's the thing, like, how much of your social life is caught up in saying, great, we had our dinner, what do you feel like watching tonight? Right? What do you feel like watching? Oh, we saw that last week. Oh, yeah, you know what? Someone told me that movie isn't good. And you spend 45 minutes of your valuable time with your friend, lover, spouse, husband, whatever, kids, or yourself, figuring out what you want to watch and then watching it and usually being disappointed. So just take that time and go spend it with yourself. Go take a hot bath. Go hang out in the yard. Use that to really leverage your personal time in nature, and also your introspective time, and also your quiet time, also your chi cultivation time, all the things that make you better. One of the major hacks there is just pull away the dumb TV, and you'll find that it's really, really, really helpful in liberating time for the things that you want to do and think you ought to do, but always complain about not having time to do, right? And so there's not really an excuse for that if you're watching TV. Sure, I watch Game of Thrones. I think it's getting ridiculous at this point, but whatever. There's some TV shows that are out there that my wife and I have rituals about. It's like House of Cards and Game of Thrones. Really, it's and it's just ridiculous drama, and some of it's sometimes interesting. But how many shows do you need? And when is enough enough? And how much of it has just become a habit that you do because that's what you do in the evenings, versus a real personalized, healthy habit that gives you chi back, right? So look at that in your evenings. I'm going to catch up on the chat thread real quick. Peg, So I'm sorry, Allison, is that the Rise and Shine discussion? Yes. Peg, I guess when one is ill and unable to do what normally works, it just gives the opportunity to dig deeper and find the stillness to access that place. Yeah, I mean, that's unfortunately most people's pathway to personal practice, introspection, health in general is through illness. It's through some acute distress, and that's a shitty way to get there, man. So, but, a lot of us go there that way. And so getting out of that mess is our hero's journey for a lot of us, and there's usually a price to pay for that. So hopefully you can navigate around some of those kind of hot buttons and find that peace and find that place out of stress and duress and live there instead of constantly trying to course correct and come back, right? Wow, yeah. So Southern Arizona is going to get punished, and it's going to be hot as hell. So Hila, absolutely, the nights are magic. Eric, been asking myself a question before I go to bed that I hope my dreams can answer. Sometimes they really do, which is cool. Absolutely, that is dream yoga in its nutshell. Is giving yourself a problem to solve, giving your subconscious a problem to solve, and then just letting it do it. You'd be surprised what you can work out in your sleep when your body's resting and your spirit is going and finding stuff. Aaron, there's never anything good on anyways. I'm thinking of shutting down my satellite again. Yeah, when we moved into our new house, my wife was like, I'm tired of not having TV, and so I rolled over on it. And literally it is on maybe once a month. I mean, we put on Apple TV, maybe once or twice a week, or Roku, and I have all the like set-top boxes, right? We have Amazon Fire Stick, we have Google Chromecast. I have all that because it's just like work. I need to like know what other people are doing in our universe, right? And but the TV, the cable TV, we spend 80, 90, $100 a month, and so like the 2-year contract is going to be up soon. Then never again. Like, it's such a waste of money because there's nothing there, right? Elon never had a TV. Still need to be more conscious of the media. Don't have to listen to every interview and tell Summit podcast. Yeah, I think we've hit peak Summit. There's just so many damn summits out there that it's obnoxious. So you just got to pick and choose stuff that it's like you are what you eat. So pick stuff that's good. And when you pick stuff that's good, make sure that you allow for that to enrich you. And if it's not enriching, and there's a place for entertainment, but there's also a place for self-cultivation. And so if you're letting it all be entertainment, then it's just mind-numbing. Then that's not worth it. Pamela, bless you. Waking up to my breathing exercises. She has a 2-year-old single mom. She's a single mom working to getting quality time for myself. Pamela, I'll have you know that there is a very, very interesting concept that I'm working on, which is going to be a show for single moms, because the way the yoga community and the spiritual community is so smug about saying, oh, you should just do yoga and eat organic and all these types of things, is really, really challenging for people who have so little time that it's disturbing. And so I take my hat off to you and any single mom out there. It is absolutely one of the most difficult things that anyone has to do, and be loving and all the things that are still required of you. So bless you. Ashley, yes. I only watch my go-to. Makes me think I prefer to take dinner, walks into the stars, and read before bed, or write whatever I need to get out. That's it. That's what the evenings are for. TV has hijacked the evening and the night and the introspection and the times that we actually have to draw inspiration. And it's just mind-numbing, light bombarding of your pineal gland. Don't do it. It's just horrible stuff. Were we supposed to talk about herbal supplements this week, Gary? I think I got the thing mixed up then, because I didn't get it, and so she said it was a weekly check-in. I apologize. If we're supposed to talk about herbal supplements, I'll do it next week, because all I had was weekly check-in and nothing there. So miscommunication on our end, and I apologize if that's the case. I will. It sounds like it is the case, so I will make it up to you, and we'll make sure we do that next week. Oops. Lori, really bright, beautiful moon. Owls, frogs, coyotes, putting their 2 cents worth in. Loves it. Day darkens and listen to time critters walk around nights and one wake up. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about is appreciating a night for what it's worth. I think TV and horror flicks have really compromised our image of what the night is, and it's like, oh, it's dark, it's scary, oh, the bad guys are out there, and that's all just the world. That's all the media trying to train you into thinking the world is a dangerous place, and that you need to hide in your house and watch more TV, and so that's the biggest challenge. So um, Charlene, no TV, newspaper, no magazine, no homepage on the computer works. Yeah, great. And I'm sure you're very sane. So Daryl, I guess, yeah, I apologize. So I will do supplements next week. I did not have it. Normally I have it in my calendar. And so if there's a specific subject, that's what we're talking about. And if not, it's a weekly check-in. So they didn't put it in my calendar. So we're flying blind. Um, Jenny, Netflix, Planet Earth is really cool. It's close to nature, an apartment urban dweller can get. Yep. There's also the one, what's it called? The new food series on Netflix is amazing. It's really, really good, and you need to see it. It's really good. Yeah, we are definitely at peak summit. Summits are just, I think we're pretty much done with them. There's only a couple of good ones happening, really. Ocean Robbins does a good summit. Psychology of Eating do good summits. I'm done. We're not going to do any more summits. I'm so over it. Angela never looked back. Gave up TV when she was studying for a CPA exam in 1995 and never missed it. Yeah, it's just an abominable waste of time. Peg, yes, I've been course correcting for 30 years. It seems without realizing it was far off to need such a jolt. Live and learn. Yeah, well, no one said it's easy, and sometimes it's like the big cuts that kind of define us, and so it's a really, really, really challenge. Oh, Marissa, yeah, the moral of the story is single moms with no money, because it's so easy to be like, well, our whole thing around this is just some celebrity suburban mom wearing Lululemon saying let them eat kale. And that stuff's just really, really privileged to say you need to eat organic if you can't actually be able to afford organic, to do these things for yourself and your children when they all cost money. And so that's the entire moral of that story, Marissa. So I am 100% here. And we're running out of time. We only got a minute left. You're very welcome, Pamela. Granddad called TV the stupid box, Aaron. Yep, absolutely. Gina, so much amazing info to limit balance how much I'm spending, taking in so much. Yeah. So look, there's always, I'm my next gong, I'm going to be reading a book a week. I'm just gobbling up information about a lot of stuff. And we'll go from there. So, you need to know new stuff, and you also need to kind of temper that with stuff that you're doing. So, yeah. So sorry, guys, they didn't put it in my calendar. So that's a Wendy thing. I will have a conversation with Wendy about it. And so we'll figure out, why that went wrong. But obviously next week we'll talk about supplements, and I apologize. Rick, hiking Whitney in September. Yes. Awesome. One of the best night skies we'll get in California. And we will go from, Mark David is awesome. Hay House does a good summit. They're just really busy, right? So, wow, I'm really behind on this chat thread. Mary Antoinette. Yep, you got it, Ela. That's why we're doing it. So, all right, I'm going to jump off into the other one. So again, well.org/rise and shine discussion. I'll put it in here. I'll see you over there. And for those of you who are coming over there, give me a minute to refill my water, and we will see you in the discussion. Thanks, guys.